Hey guys, good to see you. Welcome back to my channel. This is actually part 2 of a video that I've already uploaded. I really wanted to make this one giant long video, but it just wasn't working out, so I split it up into 2 parts. So this is part 2 of my annual Empties project pan kind of video. If you want to see part 1, that's already up on my channel, but yeah, we'll get straight into the part 2 of the video. Also, if you want to see all the part 1 empties, they're in part 1. In part 2, I like kind of get straight into some like samples and stuff before getting into the normal product skin. Anyway, let's get into it.
Okay, I have a couple more powders. Actually, let's go through some samples that I've used up. I have some really random samples thrown in here. So first of all, I have the Kosas Tinted Skin Oil in the shade 2. Now, I think 2 was pretty good on my skin tone. I've got a bunch of little Kosas tinted skin oil, like tinted samples, and some of them were really dark on my skin tone and some of them were really light. I think 2 was good for me. My thoughts on the tinted oil is it's nice, it's pretty. I wouldn't recommend it if you have oily skin. I'm not sure if it would be that great for dry skin either, just because of the way the formula clings to areas. I don't know if it'd be that great over like a dry patch or anything, so I'm not 100% sure on how this would work on someone with dry skin. They might really enjoy it because it is such an oily like nourishing kind of skin tint kind of thing. But I don't want to speak on that too much because I don't have like extremely oily or extremely dry skin. I have pretty normal skin, I'd say. So it was nice. It wasn't life-changing though. I don't think I'll be picking up the product just because after trying it, I was like, this isn't revolutionary to the point that I'm like desperate to get it into my life to pay for a high-end foundation when I'm really happy trying lots of, drugstore foundations. I have 2 Gucci samples that I used up. Well, I don't know what this was. Oh, maybe I really liked the little glass pot the Gucci sample came in, and I tried to like rip off the logo so I could see if I could save the little pot, because this is a really cute little pot. I should try and save this. You know what? I'm going to try and melt that sticker off. I don't remember what this was. I'm going to say one of them was like a foundation, and yeah, one of them was a foundation, one of them must have been a primer. Honestly, I really liked both of these. They weren't bad in any way, but they also weren't life-changing enough for me to be like, I need to spend Gucci price point on foundation and primer. So they were very beautiful, and I felt like the primer especially melted really nicely into the skin. I felt really bougie and luxurious when I was trying it, but it's really expensive for what it is, so I will not be purchasing that. I don't know. If I'm going to go high end, I'd rather spend a high end price on like a lipstick or an eyeshadow that I'll hold on to for longer, because as you can tell by me going through 3 foundations in 6 months, I go through foundation pretty quickly, and it's not financially worth it for me to go through 3 high end foundations in 6 months, because going through those 3 foundations, that was like $30 in total, because foundation, if I buy it like half price, it's going to be like $10 ish at the drugstore. But Gucci foundation, I'm going to expect that's like, high-end foundations are typically $50 to $60. 3 $50 foundations is $150. Like, yikes. I don't know. I just can't justify it. Then I used up the Ilia Skin Tint in the shade ST4. I remember this actually being really pretty. But, now I remember. The Ilia products have a scent that I don't like. I don't know what it is about the Ilia skin products, but it just kind of smells off on the skin in a way that I don't like. Actually, I remember why I tried this one as well, because the shade ST4, the shade name is Formosa, and if you know, I'm half Taiwanese, and another word for Taiwan, the country, is Formosa, which means beautiful island. And so I was like, the shade that matches my skin tone is called Formosa, Taiwan, and so I thought that was really cute. But the Ilia foundation skin tint, it just had like a scent that was like, it smelled kind of off to me. I know it's not off because it's the one that's fresh in the store, and I also have heard other people online talk about how they don't like the scent of this foundation. It smells like off ceramics, if that makes sense. It's a really odd scent, and I'm not into it. And then the last little foundation sample I have to share with you guys is the NARS Soft Matte Foundation in the shade Juville, I believe. This was actually really nice. It wasn't my favorite foundation ever, but it was actually a very nice foundation, and I really like NARS foundations. Like, I've never tried a NARS foundation and disliked it. If I had a high-end budget, sure, I would get a NARS foundation, but I'm on a drugstore foundation budget, as I mentioned earlier, so I won't be picking this up, but it was really nice. I waited ages for this to come to Australia. This soft matte foundation was like in America for so long before it came to Australia, and when it finally arrived in Mecca, I was like, yes, I finally get to try it and everyone's been hyping about it. It was actually quite nice. Like, it was actually really nice, but it wasn't life-changing nice where I was like, that's going on my holy grail foundation list of like my favorite high-end foundations that I would buy if I was high-end foundation kind of rich. I don't know. Not saying everyone that buys high-end foundations is rich, but like, it's just too much for my price point. Anyway, okay, this is a really exciting thing that I emptied. This is a ColourPop pomade. Yep, I finished up an entire brow pomade. It's kind of dirty on the inside there because I haven't cleaned it out or anything. I just used it up and threw it in here. But I used up the ColourPop brow pomade. I think it's called the Precision Brow Pomade. I'm not 100% sure. Don't quote me on that. But it's the gel pomade-y kind of pot of brow product from ColourPop in the shade Black and Brown. This maybe took me a couple of years to use up. Like, I didn't just use this up in like 6 months or something. Like, this took me a while to work through. But I finally finished it up and like scraped out the bottom. Everything that you can see on the bottom there is just like dry, crumbly, like completely gone. There's no chance of like me using that microwave hack to revive this product. This product is like just a smudge on the bottom there. I really enjoyed this brow pomade, and I did already pick up a backup you would have seen in a ColourPop haul that I did a while ago, because this is one of my favorite brow products of all time. I really like ColourPop brow products just because they're so good for the price point especially. So yeah, I really enjoyed this, and I picked up another one already. Love it. And then the shade Black and Brown, by the way, is pretty good for someone with my hair color. You can see my roots. It like suits. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is a highlighter. This one is MAC's Whisper of Guilt. Yes, that famous highlighter. I finally used it up. This is what mine looks like now. It's a mess. She's crumbly in there. Now, I have a little hack for you guys. If you're coming into my channel and you're kind of new around here, while I was using this up, this was a mess for me to use up. I wanted to use this up for so long, and there was just like more and more product coming out from underneath this grid. Usually I'm pretty like panning something's pretty simple, but it was just really difficult for me to get all the product out from underneath this grid. So what I did eventually was, once I'd like panned everything and everything was like hitting grid instead of hitting pan, I just grabbed a pair of tweezers, ripped this loose pan off the bottom of the I ripped this loose grid off the bottom of the pan, as you can see down there. It was just glued on. And then I scraped out all the extra product into an old compact that I had, and then just used up the remainder of the highlighter out of that compact, because this grid, once I hit this, was really difficult. Now, the actual highlighter itself was gorgeous. I love Whisper of Guilt. I understand what the hype is about. This was a stunning highlighter. It looked really nice on the skin tone. I prefer a champagne or goldy kind of leaning highlight, and this was definitely that. It was a champagne gold. It was stunning without being too gold that it pulled like yellowy on my skin tone. The formula was beautiful. It was buildable. You could make a really bright highlight, but if you wanted to just use a little touch of product, you can make it a little bit more neutral looking without being like a big bright pop. I'm a big bright pop kind of girl, however, so I was always really digging in there and really packing it on, and it gave me that blinding highlight I was looking for. This is in the Extra Dimension Skin Finish formula, and because I liked this so much, I did pick up, where is it? Let me find it. I did pick up a new version. Not the same shade, just because I'd already tried this one, but I picked up the shade Oh Darling to replace it. They're apparently very similar, and when I swatched them together, they were quite comparable. I would say that this one was probably a little bit more of a yellow gold compared to this one, which is probably more of like a champagne gold, if that makes sense. But this wasn't like too yellow gold that I disliked it. This is just slightly more pearlescent. Still both of them like definitely faves. Both of them. This is what the pan looked like before I took it all apart, by the way. It used to look like this. Oh, look at that beautiful embossing. So pretty. This is actually my best friend Gabby's like holy grail highlighter. She swears by the Oh Darling. Anyway, goodbye Whisper of Guilt. You are very well loved, but you were also very messy, and I'm glad to be finished it all up because I enjoyed it the whole way. Even when it was a mess, it was really beautiful. But yeah, why is there this grid inside? It drove me insane. I'm kind of sad to see this go though. I think I only had this highlight for like 2 years of my life before it was completely gone, and yeah, it was a fun time. Okay, let's go into, I think, the final product I have to show you. Do I have anything else to say about Whisper of Guilt? Also, Whisper of Guilt was so hard to find for a certain amount of time. Like, this was like a limited edition, and they made it really difficult to get your hands on, and then finally they brought it back, and I believe it's a permanent product now, because every time I go to MAC, I see Whisper of Guilt just in the Extra Dimension Skin Finish formula in this like basic, not limited edition type packaging. Like, I think it's easy to get your hands on now. I think when I got it though, it might have been difficult. I'm not sure. It was like 2 years ago. Okay, the last things I have to talk about today are from Bourjois, and these are some healthy mixed powders. I have both styles of packaging. One of them's like a flat kind of packaging where it's just like flat on the top. And then this one is the older style of packaging where it has a domed top. I prefer the flat top just because it takes up less space in the drawer, and also you can stack things on top of it. It's just like easy to like put other products underneath or with it and stuff like that. It's like really easy. Whereas with the domed top, it's a domed top. Other things don't balance on it as nicely. It just doesn't stack as nicely, and it takes up more space that's unnecessary in the drawer because that empty bubble of like, you know, that little bump there, there's no product in there. So this is more practical in my opinion. Now this one, in the old formula, I used up the shade 01 Vanilla, and then in the new formula, I used up the shade 02 Golden Ivory, which is surprising because my shade in the Bourjois Healthy Mix range is always, let me show you. In the rest of the Bourjois Healthy Mix range, I'm always 52 Vanilla. So I found it interesting that they didn't make these match up perfectly with the liquid foundation kind of part. And also, the liquid foundation does have a matching powder foundation. These I didn't use as powder foundation. I just used these two to set the face. They were really good. Both of them also take up way more space than they need to because they have this mirror on the inside with this really dirty looking puff on the inside. I tried to use this puff once, as you can tell. It didn't work out for me, and I never used it again. And then after I used up the new version, I went into my old version, which broke, by the way. I'm not too pleased about that, but whatever. And then I never touched this puff because I already knew that I wasn't a puff fan. I do have a like that there's a little bit of like aeration under there. So if you do get your puff like covered in foundation or anything, it does dry out nicely underneath because they do have that like aeration underneath the puff there. This one doesn't have it though. I don't know. Anyway, this is all gone now. It was a good foundation powder. I just use it as a setting powder, but I do believe this is supposed to be, it says Healthy Mix Powder Anti-Fatigue for a matte and radiant complexion. It's interesting because matte and radiant don't necessarily sound like two things that would go together, but this really does mattify the face without it being a dead matte. It kind of gives a more satin matte finish, and I don't know, it just works on the face. It's really nice. This one says, oops. This one says Bourjois Healthy Mix Powder Vitamin Mix. So I don't know, I'll show you a close up so you can compare the meerkats, but this is what they both look like. Trying to keep this one in before it falls out and breaks everywhere. Also interesting that this pan is flat and this one has like the ridges through the pan, like the little water drop ripples. But yeah, those are the two powders that I've used up in the second half of 2021, and I like them both. They both have that like classic Bourjois Healthy Mix scent. I've heard some people describe it as a fruity scent or a yogurty scent. I think it is a very nice scent. It's not offensive. It's not too much. It's subtle but still fresh, and I like it. And I'm really looking forward to using up my Healthy Mix foundations in the coming year. I'm a big fan of the Bourjois Healthy Mix range, and it's definitely one of my favorite ranges at the drugstore. Just like hands down, a range that I go back to time and time again. It's not something that I think I'll ever like be like, oh, moving on from that range. Like, it's a range that I repurchase, even though I have other foundations that come and go. Like those Rimmel ones, you know, I'll repurchase when I feel like them. But if I didn't have the Bourjois Healthy Mix foundations in my collection, that's when I'd have some pitter-patter moments. Okay, I want to show you guys some things that I've hit pan on in the second half of 2021, but I haven't completely panned. Just because in 2021, since there was so much like COVID and stuff going around, I didn't go out as much as I usually would. So I don't feel like I panned as much as I usually would. I know it seems like I've panned a lot of things because I've been talking for 28 minutes about different things I've panned, but usually I'd pan even more than that just because I wear so much makeup and like go through so much. So first of all, I want to talk about a highlighter. This is the Dose of Colors I Love Sarah He highlighter, and I just want to show you a little like progress or like pan update on how this is going. This will probably be used up by the first update of 2021. By the first update of 2022. So the June/July, you know, mid-yearly kind of project pan update. This will probably be an empty by then, but this is in the shade Soulmate, which is the more golden out of the highlighters she came out with in collaboration. This is so dirty, so I'm just going to cover the mirror, but this is where I'm at right now. Quite a decent bit of pan. Kind of looks like a foot shape. Oh, I just saw that now. But yeah, quite a decent amount of pan. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see, but it's quite a large dip in the pan. Like, it really goes down and is curved inwards. So there's not a load of product covering that center circle there. So yeah, this is a really nice highlighter that I've been going through. I was a little worried that this would be too dark for my skin tone at first, but it's absolutely fine on my skin tone now, and I've really been enjoying it. So yeah, also, by the way, the reason I'm uploading this Empties video now rather than in like a couple of days or something is because I don't feel like between now and like the first week of 2022 that I'm going to be panning a load more of new product. Like, I'm not going to hit any of these products as an empty. So I'm just going to show you my major pan updates. This next one that I want to show you guys is something I'll definitely have panned in like the first month of 2022. And this is the Body Shop, what's this called again? It's a bronzer. It's like the honey bronzer, and this is in the shade 3, bronzing powder shade medium matte, and I'm just going to cover the mirror, but this is how much I have left, like barely that much. But I do have to say that on the side of these pans, it's really built up. Like, it's really difficult to get into the side of this pan there, so there is quite a bit of product built up on the side there that's like I haven't scraped down yet. But yeah, this is a really nice bronzer, and I'll talk more about it in my video when I've totally panned it, but a really nice bronzer that they no longer make. I believe this is discontinued now, but they still have it in stores. If you ask them, they have it in like the bottom drawer and they'll get it out for you. This is a holy grail on YouTube for so long, and so I always wanted to get my hands on it. I think it's a really pretty packaging, and it was quite a nice bronzer, and I'm still enjoying it. You know, I'm never mad at that bronzer. It never skips. It's never patchy. It's quite a nice shade. I wish they had like some darker shades too. Like, I feel like the whole range of those bronzers from the Body Shop is kind of on the lighter side, but it's fine by me. Anyway, the last thing that I wanted to give you guys a panning update on is the L'Oreal Wild Bronze Glow in the shade La Terra. This says it's a sun powder for the face and body, and this is a beautiful bronzer that has a massive amount of pan on it. This is a huge bronzer. Like, there is so much product in here, and I can't believe I made so much progress in 1 year. I think that if I was going out a lot more this year, or like COVID wasn't like making us stay in lockdown for a couple of months, I would have definitely used up both of these bronzers as well. So I'm kind of disappointed that I didn't get through both of these this year, but I'm so close to hitting complete empty anyway, and I am so proud of the progress I've made, especially on this one, because there is a huge amount of pan used up. This product, how many grams is it? There's literally 18 grams of bronzer in here. Like, that is a huge amount of product to work through. So I am very proud of my progress. This is a really nice scent. Kind of reminds me of an argan oil scent. I think it's a really pretty bronzer. Great warm tone bronzer. Very smooth on the skin. I've never had any problems. Kind of more of a satin finish rather than a true flat matte. So it does have a bit of a like radiant sheen on the skin without being glittery or shimmery. Really like the tone on me, and I'll probably have this finished up by the next update of the 2022 mid-year empty. So those are all the things that I wanted to share with you guys for my Roundup project pan of 2021. I hope you enjoyed following me along for my project pan progress for this year. I don't show generally things that I've just hit pan on in these videos. This is more of an empties video, but due to COVID, I did want to give a shout out to the progress that I'm very proud that I made, as well as showing you guys my true empties of the year. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. If you are interested in finding out more about Project Pan, there are a load of other videos here on YouTube that you can find out more. So if you'd like to learn more, just search up Project Pan or what is Project Pan, and you'll find a load of information. It's about being mindful with your purchases, and you know, since it takes so long to use up a product, it does make you think more before bringing new products into your makeup collection, just because you're like, do I really need to buy like 6 new blushes if I only pan 1 blush a year? You know, thoughts like that. So it's about being more mindful with your consumption and your usage, and making sure that you're using up products in your collection before they go old or you're no longer interested in them. Just making sure to rotate through your collection before it goes to waste and stuff like that. If you want to, please share a comment down below. Let me know what you've panned most recently that you're really proud of. What have you panned in 2021? What are you looking forward to panning in 2022? I will be doing a planter pan video of my 2022 plans on panning. It's, you know, the products that I'm planning on panning in 2022. You can subscribe if you'd like to see more Project Pan products from me, or not Project Pan products, Project Pan videos from me or content from me. I'm like been filming for so long now. It's like literally a 35-minute video. I'm so sorry, guys. Well, put it on double speed. I always watch things on double speed. Anyway, yeah, thanks so much for watching. You can find me on YouTube, Tumblr, Instagram, Twitter, all my other socials. I'm Emily Titch or Emily Titch20. And also, I always forget to tell you guys that you can click join on my channel as well to become a paid member of my channel, and that way you see extra content from me. So I'm still gonna always be uploading my like free content here, like you know, free of charge for you guys, but I just upload extra content for my members who click join. I always forget to tell you guys that I have that like feature that you can like click join and see even more from me. But reminder, you can do that if you want to see more from me. Click join, and you can, you know, purchase a level of membership that suits your like what you want to see from me. There's like different levels and different tiers depending on what you'd like to see. And yeah, I'll catch you next time. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Bye.